What's up, guys? Welcome back to Latin Chopsticks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, today I have an amazing surprise. So you know the buddy of mine that has been coming with us the last 3 videos. I know I haven't introduced him yet, but I have some amazing news that he gave to us. Basically, he knows of a really good Mexican restaurant, right? Here in Orlando, but this Mexican restaurant has, for limited hours, it's usually 10 to 2 p.m. if I'm not mistaken, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They offer an all-you-can-eat buffet. So I cannot wait to check this place out. I don't know if it's any good. He says it's really, really good. And like when you go, try to call in advance and ask if they have the ribs. I don't know if they'll have them today. Regardless, I am stoked and I really want to check this place out and kind of take you guys with me so we can check it out together. Guys, awesome, we are here. I'm really hoping, just because of the really loud music, hopefully the mic cuts it out. Not because of the recording, but I'm just really hoping we don't get demonetized. However, we are here. This is a really nice place. It's right next to Disney Springs. You have multiple areas, multiple options here, but I mean, I've heard good things about this restaurant before. I just did not know that they offered an all-you-can-eat buffet. Once again, it's only between 10 a.m. 2 p.m. All the information's gonna be in the description down below. With that said, it looks like it's a small area, but there's quite a few options here, so enough talking, let's go ahead and get this food. Let's go ahead and check this out. All right, guys, awesome, we made it. I am overwhelmed. It doesn't look like it's that big, but every single silver bin that you guys saw, every single silver platter that you saw has 2 to 3 different things in it. With that said, you guys gotta check some of the stuff out that we just got. We also realized, we met the manager. He was nice enough to let us back in the kitchen, and I was able to get a few shots of like the homemade tortillas. He wanted to show me and prove that everything that they have here is homemade. I saw some of the way some of the salsa and stuff was being made, but the tortillas themselves looked really, really good. It's not many places that you go to that are like a big, huge Mexican restaurant that pretty much doesn't have prepackaged stuff or like, you know. I'm super excited. So enough said, let's go ahead and check this food out. So this right here is, you have your beef flauta, and then you have your enchilada, you have queso sauce, and you have some roasted vegetables, just like peppers, zucchini, and things like that. Looks really, really good. And then you get to build your own tacos. So as I was mentioning before, you have your homemade tortilla and homemade flour tortilla. We went ahead and got shredded pork. We also got some carnitas, and then I went ahead and got some shredded chicken. We are able to go to the back and get like some tomatoes and stuff like pico de gallo and things like that to put as toppings, but I wanted to try the beef out. And then of course you have these homemade tamales. Everything is just made here in-house, so I'm pretty excited, but enough talking, let's go ahead and dig in. All right, awesome guys, so first things first, I want to try this enchilada, or no, I think this is chimichanga, I'm sorry, chimichanga. So we're gonna go ahead and try this chimichanga out. I'm gonna dip it into this cheese, even though you normally slather it in sauce, but enough talking. Let's go ahead and try this deep fried burrito out. So the inside's nice and stuffed, the outside's nice and soft. It has a really good amount of filling. It's also included in the all-you-can-eat buffet. And when you go here and you just dip it into this cheese, oh man, it just definitely complements, it goes all together. That creaminess digs in with that saltiness of the cheese, and the saltiness of the tortilla and the fried, but oh man, bro, this looks really good. All right guys, now we're gonna try the beef flauta. Looks really good. It's nice and crunchy. Let's go ahead and... So in all honesty, it does look like beef on the outside, but it might actually be chicken. I'm gonna take another bite to try to see what's in there. Tasted really good, but being completely honest, I can't really taste exactly what's in it. We're gonna go ahead and check it out, take another bite and see. With that said, the outside is super nice and crunchy. It's a little oily, unfortunately, but that's because it's kind of been sitting there. But I mean, same thing as before. We're gonna go ahead and dip it into this cheese. Oh my goodness. Let's go ahead and try this out. All right, guys. All right, guys, so here, we're gonna check the inside of this out. So I did take another bite and I try to peel it back a little bit. It does look like it's like some sort of bean paste mixed in with chicken, like shredded chicken. Honestly, it doesn't look appetizing here, but I promise you guys the taste is super, super good. It's not dry, it's not super juicy, but it's not dry either. It's just, honestly feels like a little bit like the consistency of mashed potatoes, but when you add this cheese to it, it just brings it to that whole other level. Not only that, but after eating all those fried food, just get a little bit of these. Roasted peppers, roasted zucchini. Oh man, let's get some of the pepper here as well. And just try this out. Can't wait, man. That's really, really good. Honestly, super fresh. It still has a little tiny bit of a crunch when you bite down because it seems like they're ever so slightly sauteed. So you still get that freshness, that crunch, that sweetness from the onion that's on there, and you kind of helps it with all that greasy stuff you just had. Enough said though. Keep in mind, I did show these on camera already, but these right here are made by, like you make them yourself, of course. So I could have gone and gotten lettuce and pico de gallo and things like that here. Like I mentioned before, I just wanted to really taste the meat itself is kind of what I'm focusing on. So enough said, let's go ahead and dig in. So first things first, we're gonna try the shredded chicken. Let's go ahead and do this as best as I can. Oh, look at that. Oh my God. Let's go ahead and try this out. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, my intrusive thoughts right now are begging me to go ahead and dip this into that queso, but let's go ahead and try it on its own for now. That is extremely juicy. Look at all that's dripping out of it. Oh my God. That corn tortilla, super soft. None of that weird chemical taste that you get from the ones that you buy in the store. It's honestly just comes together perfectly. It's a huge difference when you go to a Mexican restaurant and you have homemade tortillas versus prepackaged tortillas. It's literally like super different. It's so much better. But now that we tried it without it, we allow the intrusive thoughts to win. Let's go ahead and dip it into that queso. Let's go ahead and try this out. All right guys, next one, we're gonna go ahead and try out the carnitas with the shredded beef or the shredded pork. Let's go ahead and try this out. Look how juicy that looks. I mean, that looks amazing. And this has been sitting on the plate for like 10 minutes. This right here is the flour tortilla. Of course, all the greasiness was absorbed, like all the juices were absorbed by the taco. But I promise, oh man, look at that bite. Oh, I can't wait. The one thing that blows my mind the most, and I hope you guys didn't forget, is that this is an all-you-can-eat buffet. Once again, it's only between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you can get here during that time, and in all honesty, based on what I'm trying and how things taste so far, I feel like this place would be even a great experience and value, even if you don't come during the buffet. But so far, this is one of the best Mexican experiences I've had here in Orlando. Let's go ahead and just try that out. Oh my God, that pork, those carnitas, I mean, you can see all this is juiciness. Oh my gosh, these are the juices. They're just so packed, jam-packed with flavor. And I wanted to show you guys this right here. Go ahead and get the fork here. I wanted to show you how tender this is. Like, I'm barely pressing it with the fork and it's pretty much breaking apart. So, I mean, that is some amazing stuff right there. Look at that, I'm just trying to pick it up and it's just like pretty much falling apart. This is some of the most tender pork that you're gonna have with some tacos. Oh my gosh, guys. We already allowed the intrusive thoughts to win once. Let's go ahead and just do it again. Oh man. Alright guys, so this is the homemade tamale. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was about to start eating and forgot about recording just because it's so good. It smells so delicious. But look at that, look at the filling. Look at the color. You could tell these are super well seasoned. Right. We're gonna go ahead and try this out. Right. Let's go ahead and have this. So the dough itself on the outside, it is really good. It's really well seasoned. It does taste a little herby because of the seasoning. It might be because maybe I'm not sure if that's cilantro or green onion, but it is slightly cooked quite a bit, so it is a little tiny bit bitter. But the flavor of the chicken and how juicy this is, and the super strong smell of the plantain leaf that was used to cook this, wow. Me being Venezuelan, I don't know how many of you guys know that already, but with me being Venezuelan, I'm very picky with like tamales and things like that, because I'm Venezuelan, and in Venezuela we have something called an hallaca, which is basically a Venezuelan tamale. But the seasoning on that, the way it's made, it's a very nice Christmas tradition that Venezuelans have in their families, where you can make it, it looks very similar to that, so I'm pretty surprised, but the taste is quite, or not quite, but it's slightly different. It's very similar to this, with the exception that it has like raisins on the inside, so it adds a little bit of contrast to the salty and sweetness. So you have the sweetness, savoriness, saltiness, all in the same bite. In all honesty, because of that, I don't really like tamales and different types of things like that, but this, it's not quite the same, but it's pretty dang good. The only thing I would say that is missing is that sweetness. If it had that slight sweetness, it'd be extremely similar, because even the smell is kind of similar. All right, guys, so we got up and we went and had our second plate. I'm a little intimidated, but you guys gotta check this out. So I guess this is gonna be the main course for me. We ended up getting a few things. So this right here is oven baked chicken. I mean, this char looks so good. I can't wait to try that. And like, even look at the seasoning, just lifting the skin ever so slightly. You see like the oily sweat from the seasoning that's coming out of the chicken itself. You have the fajita steaks, or steak fajitas. Look at this. I mean, where do you see a steak fajita? Like restaurant, that's all you can eat buffet with this big chunks of meat with the green peppers. Talking about big chunks of meat, you also have this chicken right here, chicken fajita, really good. I only got one piece because, like I said, normally you put these in tacos, but I just wanted to try them out. They have a poblano sauce-based pasta with some chicken. They have, I believe, oh man, I can't remember this. It was a, I think it's like hot sauce-based, tomato sauce-made shrimp. I'll double check the name after that. It'll probably be edited into this. And then this right here is a mole-based enchilada. So it's basically like a cooked.
3 hours later.
Mine is just going blank. This is it's an enchilada. This is like basically it's like a taquito with like mole sauce on top, right? If I'm not mistaken. So this right here is a mole engulfed enchilada. So it's basically like a taquito, and then you have like a whole bunch of mole on top of it, which is like a cacao-based sauce. I can't wait to try that out. It's topped off with like onions and some cheese. But I mean, all of this looks really, really good. All right, enough talking, guys. Let's go ahead and I want to try this. This is like the one thing I want to try the most, the steak fajita. The smell coming off of it is so amazing. Oh my God. I don't know how I can do this with one hand to show you guys, but this is so soft and tender. I thought it was gonna be kind of chewy. It is not. It's not quite melt in your mouth, but it comes apart in your mouth so quickly, and it's so juicy, even though it looks a bit dry, as soon as you bite into it. Oh my gosh, guys. The seasoning on it is perfect. It has like the right amount of salt. We're gonna go ahead and get some of the onion and the green pepper. Just adds that kick of freshness and sweetness from the onion. Surprise, surprise, it's not just green peppers. It actually has a little bit of jalapenos in there as well. So it just goes ahead and elevates the flavor even more, because it adds another layer. Oh man, so you have spice, you have savoriness. Oh my gosh. And in all honesty, I can't get over the fact of how soft and tender that is for a fajita. Oh my God. All right, the next thing we're gonna try is the chicken fajita. Let's go ahead and do this right here. Let's go ahead and try this out. All right, chicken fajita. Let's see if this is as tender as the other one. So I'm gonna be completely honest, it looks really dry, but when you bite down, it is so soft. It's very similar to that of the steak. It just completely dissolves in your mouth, and when you get a little bit of these green pepper, oh my gosh. Let's try this out. A lot of the Mexican restaurants I go to, the meat, the chicken, it's always seasoned really good. But once again, and I know I keep saying this, but it's just I have to get the point across. It's so nice and tender, every type of protein so far that I've had, that it's so good. It goes with anything. You can eat it on its own. You can make a tortilla, you can make a taco. They have I'm trying to remember the name, but they also have like the bowl so you can make like a taco salad. I mean, oh man. So next thing we're gonna go for is this poblano based spaghetti. I wanna try it out. It is a little dry because it's been sitting on the plate. It is kind of weird, in my opinion, for a Mexican restaurant, but hey, let's go ahead and just try it out, see how it is. You gotta keep in mind, I mean, it's included in the all-you-can-eat menu, so you might as well try it. Flavor-wise, it's pretty good. I'm not gonna go off the top and try to be like, oh, it's amazing. The pasta does seem, obviously it's closed, as you guys saw in the beginning of the video. It is in like a little bin that has a top on it. So it is a little bit mushy, it's not al dente. The flavor is really good because it's like the poblano sauce is very subtle, and then you have that delicious meaty piece of chicken. Comes together really well. Obviously it's not the best, but considering it's an all-you-can-eat buffet and they just added this option, it's a little different than what you can be used to, but it's not bad. That guy's awesome. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I had to turn the camera off for a little bit because I needed to wait for the food to go down a little bit. This is a lot of food and there's still a lot more coming, so let's go ahead and check the rest of this food out. Next thing we're gonna try is the shrimps. And I was actually able to get the actual flavor out, so it is coconut habanero shrimp. Now keep in mind, they did say that they changed some of the options throughout the different days and weeks, so it might be a little different when you come by, but guys, I mean, the quality of the food so far is amazing. I'm grabbing this with the fork to show you guys, but I'm definitely gonna grab it with my hands since the tails are still on. All right guys, let's go ahead and try this baby out. So the shrimp itself, perfectly cooked. It's not chewy, it's literally like super tender and delicious. I'm gonna be honest, it might be because of the meat that we had and the chicken. All that stuff is seasoned so well that the shrimp feels a little underwhelming, like a little bit bland, not too much. It's not so spicy, so even though it's habanero shrimp, and I don't feel anything. Maybe it's because I had those pieces of jalapenos with like the seeds on it, but it's not bad. Just I feel like the meat and the chicken and all that stuff was way like more heavily seasoned, so it had like that much of a like explosive flavor. With that said, talking about explosive flavors, you guys gotta check this chicken out. All right, so this I'm super excited for. I know some people are gonna look at this and be like, wow, that's burnt. No, that, to me, you guys know from my previous videos, I love char, I love the char taste. I'm gonna try my best. I'm probably gonna have to go like old school and like medieval with this and just try it out by hand. But I mean, this looks amazing. Look at the color of that. Let's go ahead and try this out. All right guys, look at this right here. Oh man, I can't wait. I'm gonna try the charred skin first. Oh my God, it does have a slight bitterness from the burnt, but I love that because it just complements the entire bite altogether. Now it is a little tiny bit dry because it's been sitting on the plate. We have so many salsas, so many options here on the buffet. It doesn't matter, it's just the taste of this chicken, that charness, the seasoning, it just comes together so well. The last thing on this plate, I'm like struggling, but I wanna get through it because I wanna have a little bit of their seafood soup or their beef soup. I might have the beef, to be honest with you guys, just to kind of settle the stomach a bit. And then we want to check out a small little dessert table. They are running out of dessert, so I want to try to be quick so I can actually record it. I should have done it before, but just check this out. So this right here is the chimichanga. We're gonna go ahead and try this out. Oh, okay, good. I went ahead and I cut it and then just see how it is. Oh man, I love the onion, the cheese, the meat that's in it. And then the thing is, since it's been sitting here, the tortilla pretty much absorbed all of that mole. Oh, can't wait, let's try this out. All right, so the whole thing came apart as I was trying to poke it. I'm just gonna go ahead and just kind of put that here and let's try it out. That's way better than I thought. Oh my God. That tortilla flavor, once again, because it's homemade, it comes through so apparent. So it is like one of the stars of flavors that comes through when you take a bite. The shredded chicken and the mole come together really well. Makes the whole bite like really savory. It's just, the whole thing's just coming apart. I'm gonna have this other bite and then we're gonna go ahead and check out some other stuff, but I can't say it enough. This place is amazing. I didn't even know this existed. All right guys, awesome. So I got one last thing food-wise that I wanted to show off. I ended up taking the salsa bowl and I filled it with a little bit of soup. So you guys check this out. All right guys, so I mean, look at this. This looks amazing. Look. You have a little piece of onions, you have some cilantro, some green peppers. I didn't grab any, but it does have like a little bit of carrots as well. But because this bowl is like really small, this is a cheese bowl. I mean, look at the size of the spoon, and you guys can see. But let's go ahead and try some of this broth out. And this meat just looks so juicy and so tender. I can't wait to try that as well. All right. The soup's not bad, but I have one of our buddies here who's recommended some of the Asian places that we've done on the channel before. And he was right, because he kind of had it before I did. It's really good in my opinion, but it is a tad bit bland. Like I wish it had a little bit more salt or a little bit stronger flavor. The analytical part of me is thinking it's because we had all this other food that was so seasoned, like really strongly seasoned and tasted so amazing, that maybe going to this, it kind of, you know, maybe that's why it tastes a little bland, because like our palates are already overly salted from all the other stuff that we ate. I have a feeling if I would have eaten this first, I would have thought of it to be super refreshing and delicious. But I personally still like it, but I love soup. I'm like super biased with eating any type of soup. So let's try this beef out right here. It's super meaty. It is super soft. A little chewy, but it's expected since it's sitting in really hot boiling broth. Regardless, I would still recommend it. My recommendation would be just start off with this and then have everything else. So here are all the different desserts. So this one right here is coconut cheesecake. That's rice pudding. This is the only one I'm not sure what it was, and I cannot remember for the life of me. It does look like there's chocolate cake on the bottom, a little bit of pudding, but then on the top it does have like a little bit of raspberry under the whipped cream, it looks like. And then you have right here, this is orange cake. You have coconut cake. And then this was really interesting to me. This is actually a rice pudding enchilada. So I can't wait to try that one out. But let's go, oh, chimichanga, not enchilada. But let's go ahead and try this out. All right, guys, so we're gonna go with this one first. I didn't grab this originally. My buddy tried it. He's like, dude, you gotta do this one. So let's go ahead and try this out. This is the coconut cheesecake. Let's go ahead and see how this is. We'll try a little bit more. Okay, now I taste the cheesecake. So one thing, this is room temperature, so keep that in mind. The top is really good. It almost reminds me of like a coconut tres leches. But then when you get to the bottom, that's when you get to like this soft consistency. Oh, it's so hard to do this with one hand. And the bottom is where the cheesecake is at. And then because it's room temperature, it all mixes in really well. This is hitting the spot really well. Because like I mentioned, it's not that the food is salty, but everything's so well seasoned that having this kind of cleanse your palate at the end, it like complements and brings everything that you ate together. To be honest with you, since I have like 6 of these, I'm just gonna try each one. Next one we're gonna try is this one. This right here is the rice pudding. So we're gonna go ahead and let's get a little bit here. Let's go ahead and try it. So on this one, 100%, I would say you could probably skip it and be safe. It's extremely bland. The rice is very watery in my opinion. So just, that's my 2 cents. The thing is, my mom and my wife's family, they make like some of the best rice pudding I've ever had, so I'm already gonna be biased against any other rice pudding. This is extremely bland compared to like some of the ones that I have homemade. Next thing we're gonna try is this one right here. This is the only one I didn't know what it was. Based on looking at it alone, it does look like it's like chocolate cake at the bottom, and then you have like this creamy, almost the same kind of consistency as this on the top part. So it might be like some sort of like vanilla cake on top of like chocolate cake all mixed together with some raspberry like cream. All right, let's go ahead and try this out. All right, so I was 100% spot on. Check this out. So as I mentioned, the bottom is like chocolate cake drenched in like some vanilla sauce. And then you have the top here, which is like regular vanilla cake, and then you have the raspberry cream up there. So it's pretty good. Honestly, it's pretty well balanced. It's nice and obviously moist, which I know a lot of people don't like that word, but it's like the best thing I can come up with right now. It's not bad at all. Especially that chocolate flavor on the chocolate cake is nice and chocolatey. It has like a dark chocolate type of taste. So it's strong enough to like honestly contrast. The only thing I can think of that this reminds me of is, I don't know if you ever guys had those like moon pies that has like the half and half, like half of it is like chocolate, the other half is vanilla. That's what this reminds me of just a bit. And then of course you have that raspberry that kind of adds a little bit more depth to the flavor. The last one here is the orange cake. I do like the fact that they have a little small piece of orange on the top. Super juicy, wow. Let's go ahead and try this out. Right off the bat, and I'll show you guys, it does look like it's a dry piece of cake. But check this out. So based on the consistency that I'm seeing on this one, it kind of reminds me of like angel cake. I know the whipped cream has like orange flavoring on the inside. Let's go ahead and try this out. I don't really taste the orange. Let me try one more time. All right, so the whipped cream has a very slight orange flavor, the cake itself, I'm gonna try to go a little bit into the bottom because the bottom does look like it's a little juicier than the top. It has a little bit more moisture. It's not as dry, so let's try that out. There you go. So the bottom of that cake, I don't want to say it's orange juice, but you have that citrusy flavor at the bottom of that cup. I'm guessing it's because it's like sitting on the table there. It kind of drained itself down to the bottom of it. So I would say this is pretty good. Just make sure you kind of mix it because the top is just regular vanilla cake. All right, guys, the last thing we're gonna try out is this one, and then of course I'll dry that, but I'm gonna eat that in like 2 bites. This is the coconut cake. We're gonna go ahead and just cut down into it. It does look like it has like maybe coconut pudding in the middle, and it has a little bit of shaved coconut on the top there. Let's go ahead and try this out. In all honesty, it just tastes like regular vanilla cake to me. I do taste the coconut because of the coconut flakes, but I don't know, it just seems okay. It doesn't seem like it's that great, but. And I would say the cream on the top is a little bit excessively sweet, but besides that, it's not bad. The last thing, and we're done because it was so much food today, is the rice pudding filled chimichanga. Let's go ahead and try this out. All right, here. Now it does look like it has some dark chocolate syrup on top of it. It does have the filling of the rice pudding, and then it does have like some powdered sugar on top. Let's go ahead and take a bite and see how it is. I will say right off the bat, as soon as I grabbed it, the outside is still kind of crispy, not much, but it has a tiny bit of a crisp to it. Let's go ahead and try this out. All right, guys, so this was honestly pretty delicious. The rice on the inside's not overly sweet. I feel like it's like the perfect amount of sweet where the outside is still sweeter than the filling, but you have like this honestly strange but pleasant kind of like rice consistency on the inside with that pudding. The outside, you have bitter dark chocolate syrup, and then you have the sweetness of the dough itself as well as the sweetness of the powdered sugar. It's surprising, but it actually comes together pretty well. It almost tastes like you're eating a rice-filled churro. With that said, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please, if you like videos like this, I want to start making them more often. I'm on a journey right now to find all the different buffets that you can find in Orlando. Just besides your typical Chinese restaurants, or like Chinese buffets, which you guys, I know I see a lot of you guys commenting. Every time I tell you guys, hey, I went to a Chinese buffet, a lot of you are commenting below like, oh, that's not real Chinese. We all know that. We live in the US. Any type of Chinese buffet has to cater to enough people so they actually get people visiting. They can't make an authentic Chinese restaurant or buffet style like that. It's really difficult because, believe it or not, Chinese food in general, based on my personal experience, original, real, traditional Chinese food is not as flavorful as the unhealthy, Americanized Chinese food and Chinese fast food. So that is something a lot of people need to keep in mind when you guys are commenting on the videos of the Chinese buffets. With that said, I do want to find a bunch of different buffets here in Orlando. With this, we have a Chinese buffet on the channel. We have the Korean barbecue type buffets. We have a Japanese barbecue buffet on the channel. Now we have a Mexican buffet on the channel. I do have a few other buffets coming. I don't know when they will be releasing, but I do have an Indian buffet that I went to that I really want you guys to check out. I also have a Pakistani buffet that I found. I mean, there's other videos coming in the future, but as I was saying before, if you guys like these type of videos, you guys like how the quality is improving on the channel, if you guys are liking the pictures and the food and different experiences that we're having, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. But as always, guys, I will see you next Sunday, and until then, let's just keep on eating.